Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 42 of our Enigmatica 6 Expert Let's Play series, where today we are getting pressurized with Pneumaticraft for processing oil into gas and LPG and plastic and all kinds of good stuff, really getting some good progression going, so let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another day here in Enigmatica 6 with TheAndrata, where today we're going to continue working with our Pneumaticraft and our whole setup that we got going on there, and we're going to continue working on getting our refinery. So, a couple things that we're going to want to talk about. First off, let's see how our Komodo dragon's been doing. 39 Komodo dragons, but that's pretty good. I seriously do need to go find a moose and then do the same setup on the other side for a moose so he can do his antlers. It's something that I need to do in between this episode and get that set up, because it's going to come to the point where we need the antlers and we're not going to have them, and it's going to be a whole mess, basically, is what's going to happen. So anyway, I threw some more bitumen in there, pulled out from our system what we had. I probably should go ahead and actually, before we even get too started here, go ahead and get our sooty honeycombs taken care of. You're going to see some things on in our hotbar here, or our inventory, and I will explain all of that stuff momentarily. Let's go ahead and see, what do we have sooty-wise? Not terribly too much in this one. We have quite a lot of stuff sitting in our inventory here, though, that we're going to end up having to take care of. I'd like to get the full-size centrifuge going. That'd be kind of nice, so maybe we can convert some of these to blocks. But I don't think that we're able to get there yet. Okay, so let's talk about inventory, because we don't talk about Bruno, right? So in my inventory, you're going to see that we have a few things, and apparently I sorted my inventory at some point accidentally. It must have just happened, because this was not like this a few moments ago. So in my inventory, you're going to see that we have some reinforced stone, which I meant to throw into the system, and some fluid tanks, but we're going to be able to craft up our refinery outputs, which I just now realized we need 4 of these things, don't we? I only made enough stuff for 3. Yeah, we need 4. So 3, 6 times 4. So I need to make myself another small fluid tank. Which means we're out of andesite alloy. Lovely. Clockwork honeycomb? Maybe? How are we out of andesite alloy again? Because I made a bunch of create stuff, that's how. Clockwork honeycomb? Yes. I can actually tear all that stuff down too. Our Cobblegen's not even running, so let's go ahead and clockwork honeycomb it up over here. We can throw you back in there. We can tick accelerate you to the max, and then grab these andesite alloys out of there, because it's going to take forever for them to auto output. Okay, cool. Now we should be able to get this. If I made another basic fluid tank, you jerk, come on, let's go. Also, I did the math. We're going to need 39 of these fluid tanks of creosote oil in order to get enough. Excuse me. Come on. 39 basic buckets here of creosote oil to get enough creosote for the... Excuse me. I made these. There we go. For the treated wood. Goodness gracious. It's not letting me talk because I'm trying to concentrate and focus on this. In order to get the treated wood, we need to get 39 containers of this. Are you kidding me? What am I missing? I swear I just made this, didn't I? Is it because it has NBT data that it doesn't want to go? What is it? Hold Alt to request anyway? You go there. Go there. And then, you know what? We might as well just go ahead and throw in the other ones and the reinforced stone, and we'll get our refinery outputs going. I didn't make refined bricks. I made refined stone. Now we're good to go. 1 set of ingredients. What am I missing? Oh my goodness, the pipes. There we go. Oh, and I made 5 of them. Son of a gun. Well, and I put the wrong ones away. I am not doing good today, am I? Wow. What is up with TheAndrata today? I don't know. but I'm not doing well. Okay, anyway, so what we have in our inventory is, first off, we have some more of this smoldering lapis. I made a few more extras because we were gonna need them for this process. And I had to go ahead and make a few more kilns anyway, or kiln bricks anyway. So I made a few more of these things. So ectoplasm, I think we have like 8 left. So we've already gone through half of what we had. Hopefully we don't need terribly too many more for the moment. So we have our kiln bricks set up here. I also went ahead and made some heat pipes and some more thermal lagging. If you remember, that was just the rock wool and then dyes. So it was easy to do, just a pain to get the dyes essentially. Bought some more turbine blades and some more compressed iron too. So we have some more blocks of compressed iron. I didn't know if I need the turbine blades, so I just went and bought them. I'm like, hey, I have them. I can afford them. Let's do it. So what we're going to do with these two things is create what's called a fuel wood heater. I looked up on the Discord, and this is the recommended way to heat up our refinery controller, as well as our thermopneumatic processing plant when we get to that stage, which, you know what, we can actually just go ahead and set one of these up now. Maybe. Y'all know how much challenge I had with crafting this. Andesite alloy is empty again. Nope. We have a bunch more logistics cores too. I keep buying these as I get them, the pressure tubes and logistics core, because I don't know if we're going to need them for any kind of crafts or anything. So whenever I get the chance, the guy sells like the compressed iron for 1, I believe, and then the logistics cores are super cheap. So yeah, I'm making those as much as often as I can buy them. We have them, so that way we, well, have them. So now I should be able to make this if I had more slabs. Sorry, the beginning of this episode has turned into TheAndrata sighing a lot because he doesn't have the stuff that he needs, because it's not reinforced slab bricks that you use to make that. You use the actual reinforced stone. Request this. Give me 8 more reinforced stone. Luckily, this stuff like goes a very long way. Just one more. Just go as fast as you can. Give me the stuff I need. Done. Okay. Thermopneumatic processing plant. Can we get you now? Yes. Okay. Whew. And I believe this is going to require pressure, so we're going to set this all up. But the refinery controller and the refinery output does not require pressure. It is going to require us to set up XNet, though, so we'll get to that when we get to it. But we're going to definitely want to set up XNet to do a lot of processing here. So let's go ahead over to our factory, and we're going to go ahead and pop up to our second floor here, and we're going to set all of this stuff up. So we have our pressure chamber here. And I think over here maybe is where we'll go ahead and set up our thermopneumatic processing plant. We can tap off of that. Maybe like put it, let's see, we have power coming off of here. And actually, I did want to make another valve so we can have this act as a battery and bring stuff over here maybe. I don't know. We're just going to set it down for now and deal with it later, because what we're working on right now is the refinery. So what we want to do is go ahead and this is all off of memory, by the way. So I might be a little bit rusty, and I'm actually going to put this over here because we're probably going to add other machines over there that can expand off of our pressure chamber. And so over here is going to be kind of not used so much, except for whatever. We'll figure it out. So what we want to do is set up a refinery controller. And right now it's going to tell us that we have no fluid inside of here and we don't have enough refinery outputs. So what we have to do is stack these up on top of this. Bam. And there we go. We have 4 outputs and it should be all hunky-dory. But it's going to yell at us saying that 17 of our 24 block faces are exposed to air, which means that we're going to be wasting heat. So the way that this refinery controller works is we take our fluid, and I believe, yeah, we're going to have to actually pump this into it, which is going to kind of sort of be a pain to do. And does, let's see, 17 of 24. This has 4. Yeah, that's only 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh no, 17. It is 17 because there's 16 here plus the top. That is 17 of 24. So we actually don't need to worry about getting the refinery controller itself. heat protected, just the outputs, it looks like. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So we can actually set up the basic fluid tank with the fluid here, and we can pipe into this from the back. But we're also going to need to get heat piped into this as well. So we're going to figure out our best option for all of this stuff. Let's go ahead and put you here. Now we're going to get our mechanical pipe, set it up here, and swap over to you. And we can extract our crude oil from this into our refinery. 16 buckets, so it's going to use half of the fluid that was in this. So this will be able to process it'll do 2 of these at a time, which is good to know. We're going to swap back out of this, so I don't have to worry about that swapping around on me. So that's going to get us our fuel. But the problem is we need to get up to a greater than 100 degrees Celsius. And we got to figure out how we're going to do that. And so what I want to do is go back home, because I forgot to actually do the thing that I wanted to do, and that is make the fuel wood heater. Like I said, I looked in the Discord for the best options for heating up all of our our Enigmatica stuff, and this is the item that it was 100% recommended by everybody. It does require coal, so we're going to need to get a little bit of coal in here, which we are starting to run low on. But remember, I just put our sooty bees to process all their coal over here. So yeah, we have that going for us. Though I need to get something set up to actually process these again, because we used our crushing wheels to do. Yeah, you make sulfur. It's the bitumen. We used our crushing wheels to process ore, so I need to add those to not get destroyed. And actually, that reminds me, at this point, it's a good idea to not void. I don't have all this stuff. Anyway, I need to remember to do this. Down in our chute here, it pulls all items that cannot be washed, and then it dumps them into lava. Probably a good idea to get them put into a chest. So I'll set up like I can do a logistical transporter chain to put a chest here. So any items that don't get smelted end up into that chest, or don't get washed. That way we don't, void something like the bitumen that we might need. And then I could actually throw it through that crushing wheel. Okay, so fuel wood heater. Never used this before. Don't know how it works 100%, but we're going to figure it out. So we're going to go ahead and set this up here on the back of this. Now, do I need to get the heat into this block specifically, or can I put heat into this block? Because if that's the case, I would like to make this compact if I can. So if I were to heat pipe this, and then give this some fuel, which I don't like the way that faced. How's that face sideways? Like, I want this to face like this way. Like, yeah, like that. Interesting. Okay, if we give it some fuel, oh look, there we go. Yeah, it's cooking. It's heating up. So this is going to heat up here. Now remember, when things get hot in Enigmatica, it gets hot. So look, there we go, 100 degrees. We've already met our temperature, and we're already processing diesel, kerosene, gasoline, and LPG. So, oh wow, I wish there was a way we could limit this, because this does look at this. This gets hot. And it is equalized at 135. So this thing is, okay, so that's where it's going to cap out. 174 degrees Fahrenheit, 352 degrees Kelvin, 79 degrees Celsius, 634 R. And yes, we want Celsius, because that's what we're, we have to get this up to, which is interesting that this only goes up to 79 degrees Celsius, but this is at 136. But it doesn't matter. What we needed is what we got. And so it is processing the crude oil, and it's going at a fairly decent clip. Look, 10 millibuckets every second or so. And it's turning it into diesel, kerosene, and LPG. And the LPG right now is what we want. Eventually, we are going to want more than these. And also, don't forget that we have a lot of this exposed to heat. Like, we're not doing very well with our thermal lagging, which is why I made this. Now, we don't necessarily have to use thermal lagging. You can actually use any sort of block. It's just kind of ugly to use anything else. So maybe we should use maybe we can use thermal lagging on the fronts, and then set up what do we got? I guess we could use this. only because the thermal lagging is quite expensive overall. And eventually we'll get XNet set up on the back of this. So actually that heat pipe is going to end up needing to get moved because we're going to have XNet. And what XNet's going to do is pull out these liquids and pull them into different thermopneumatic processing plants that can, well, process them. We're not losing any heat though. So honestly, it doesn't really, even though 4 are exposed to air. Let's just launch, and then I can kind of sort of... I was trying to land on there. I didn't want to have to pillar up. That's okay. Oh, the thermal lagging is in my way, actually. There we go. I just want to see, like, how hot will this ultimately end up getting? Is this even necessary? 169. The hotter it is, the faster it will process. As you can see, it is going much faster. So it is kind of nice to have it hot if we can. However, it's not 100% needed to be, you know, as long as we're at the 100 mark, we're okay. But that's our refinery. We'll leave it like that. That looks fine to me for now. Let's go ahead and pop back over to our Pneumaticraft quests and collect our rewards for getting our oil refinery set up. And then we need to get our thermopneumatic processing plant, and it wants 4 of those because what we use these for is to convert all of these fuels ultimately into LPG. So diesel will convert into kerosene, which will convert into gasoline, which will convert into LPG. And then the LPG is what we use to make plastic, I believe. I did say that very weird, but I believe we're going to use, yes, the LPG mixed with coal and is going to make molten plastic, and it does have to have a temperature of 100 degrees as well. And I believe all of these have to have a high temperature, which is why I made 2 of these fuel wood heaters, because we're going to have to transfer, you know, we're going to have to get heat pipes set up and get them going into at 4 thermopneumatic processing plants. But I believe actually we're going to want 5 because one of these makes... the lubricant, yes. If we get biodiesel, oh, that's biodiesel to make that. Lubricant is made for speed upgrades for everything, pretty much. We can buy it in the Amadron tablet. That's going to make compressed iron drill bits. Just trying to see what else is lubricant made out of. Like, do we need to start processing this now? How do we get biodiesel? Plant oil? Yeah, that's a process. I generally skip the biodiesel process, mainly because it's a pain, but like to get this ethanol and stuff, because this is where you have to get temperature to be a specific temperature, and it becomes a kind of pain. And then yeast culture is a like item, in-world yeast production, where you have sugar going into water and yeast will turn it into double yeast. It's kind of a pain. But let's see what else. So that's lubricant, experience, sap goes into syrup. Like what other things? There's 19 pages of stuff. Water first. So we're going to definitely do this water and get these upgrade matrices. But then I think we're going to immediately switch over to doing plastic. Okay, cool. Recipe for you. Do you require a specific temperature? No. You do require pressure. So this craft is going to require pressure. So we're going to do that first, and then that way we don't have to worry about, we can make these and then come back and then do other stuff. Okay. So we're going to end up losing a little bit of our pressure. Ooh, what is this? Liquid hoppers used to transfer liquids from one tank to another. We'll also try to empty any liquid container like a bucket lying at the input side. Okay, that's kind of cool. Do I have any pipe pressure tubes with me? It does not look like I do. But I have plenty of them in the system, so we can actually grab some of these and leave them with us so we don't have to worry about it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this set up. We're going to have to get water, and I'm going to have to get the a book again because I didn't think about it. But we'll go ahead and put these 2 together. This should start filling up with pressure, and it's going to actually... This is a bad idea. I just lost pressure, but this is it's going to get too much pressure, and we have no upgrades in this. And so what that means is it's going to get too much pressure, and it'll actually explode if it goes over the 5 bars. So we'll kind of leave it as is right now. But what we want to make is these upgrade matrices. So it's not too difficult. It is the smoldering lapis. So we're going to be able to throw 3 of these in here, and then we just need a bucket of water. And guess what? We have an infinite bucket of water. So maybe we can just bucket this. Yeah. And it is 1 bucket per, so... And there we go. We got our 12 and we're good to go. So then we can get rid of that. And now we can actually make these engineers blueprints in the kiln. So if I throw these over here, and I don't want all of them, I just literally just need 1 of these right now. We'll get a book in a bit. We can make that, and that will help us in the future so we can get the engineers matrix going. Let's get rid of these. We did this. We did this. We did this. Cool. So let's go ahead and grab this guy. Lost all the pressure that was in there, but it really wasn't terribly too much, so I'm not too worried about it. And then we need to go ahead and get set up with our processing of the LPG. And for now, what we can do is we can actually bucket the LPG out of there, so we don't have to worry about actually, you know, processing it. But eventually we will set up XNet to auto process this. I don't know what I'm doing with my buttons here. And there we go. So that is going to quickly jump into temperature. Oh, you know what? Because this is actually stealing temperature from here. Yeah, because temperature is going to transfer between. And so actually, do we even need... We don't need this here. If I were to set a heat pipe up here. So actually, if I were to set this back one. Now, we're not going to be able to do this for everything because... I don't believe the fuel wood back here is going to be able to keep everything hot enough, but it's enough for right now. All right, I like that idea. And then we need to get LPG, so we have buckets. And we can also use LPG to fuel that, so that's good. And then all we have to do is get some coal. Yeah, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul here. And I believe it's probably a bucket per. No, it's 100 millibuckets per molten plastic. That is actually pretty darn good. So then all we have to do is actually dump this molten plastic in the world, and it'll turn into regular plastic. And we do have a couple options for this. To use the molten plastic, let's see, I can't press U there. So let's get plastic. The usage of molten plastic is in-world solidifying. So if I just put this out in the world, it will create plastic sheets. We can do a fluid encapsulator. So I could put all of this into a fluid encapsulator with a bucket, and that'll turn it into a bucket of molten plastic, which doesn't really help because, you know, we don't have that. Or we can pour it into the world, or we can chill it with a heat frame to solidify into plastic sheets. Using a heat frame might get us better results. So what is the cost of a heat frame? That is just some compressed iron and a furnace. Can be placed on any inventory. When heated by an adjacent heat source, it will try to smelt in the inventory as well as freeze it when cooled. It will only succeed when there is room in the inventory for the resulting item. The more heat applied, the faster it will go, similarly to it being cooled. So if we were to set this up, and then what if we had like a... Can we put a block of like blue ice next to it? Will that... Does blue ice have heat properties? Temperature, negative 40 degrees, potentially. Let's go ahead and head home and see if we can make this happen. Because doing it this way, it says it could have better results. I don't know what that 100% means. So, no, not you. I needed the heat frame. And I think I have some ice. Hopefully I have blue ice. I'm not 100% sure. Ice. I have packed ice. How about packed ice? What is your heat property? Minus 20 degrees. So that is sub-zero. That's what we need. What is the recipe for blue ice? It is 9 packed ice. I know I can go get packed ice. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. Or I could convert it. But then I have to silk touch it. Yeah, we can silk touch it. I have silk touch. That reminds me, it was mentioned in the comments, I believe by Kitsune GB, to use the ice temple that is over there for all of our magic stuff. And I actually thought that was a great idea. We could put our magic items over in the ice temple and use it to, you know, to do magic-y stuff. However, I went over there to go try and clear it out and actually do the thing. And it did not work out because in daytime the sun shines, the ice that's around it starts to melt. And so like if we go look at our wizard tower and I look over here, we're gonna see there's just a ton of water. I replaced the blocks over here, and then other water just melted. You can see I started working on it because I put a ferro flare lantern up top. And look, there we go. An ice block just melted, literally, because we're in the area and everything. So unfortunately, it's not really going to work for us. I'd have to replace it with, if I replace it with packed ice, it works okay. But regular ice doesn't, and I don't want to go through and replace the whole structure with packed ice. So yeah, not about that life. So let's see what happens. I got that heat frame, didn't I? Yes, but I didn't get a chest. Figures. Always missing something. And you know what? Let's go ahead and grab a barrel so we can set up that smart chute to do the thing as well. So we're going to need a... Yeah, really, we're going to need 2 of these for the chute, because we're going to have it able to dump into something and then go to the one that I put up top with logistical transporters. So let's go ahead and pop up here and see if we can't get this plastic cooling, because that would be a great end of this episode. Because what we could do, theoretically, we could pull this plastic into a fluid encapsulator, which will make buckets, have the bucket export into this chest with a heat frame on it, and then use the heat frame to make the plastic for us. So we can kind of sort of automate it. So this is sitting at 30 degrees Celsius, but if I put this here, does it cool, or do I need to put a heat pipe next to this? Let's cooling 87, 91, 95, 99. It is cooling. Yeah, it's working. I don't like the heat pipes like that though. And I also only don't, the heat pipes are kind of expensive. Let's not break the blue ice. Let's just swap out, silk touch it. And what I'll do is actually place this down here. Let's do heat pipe blue ice. That way it's kind of sort of hidden, and hopefully this goes sub-zero. Sub-zero. I think that worked because it went blue. Is that how this works? I guess we'll find out. Let's get a bucket and put this in here. Ah, look, it did. Turned into plastic. But remember, it heats up when that happens. So, but you can queue the plastic up. Like we could leave this bucket in here, and then once it does its thing, it'll convert over. But look, there we go. We have plastic. Bam. Plastic sheets. So as soon as it gets cold enough, and it looks like actually 32 degrees is all we need for this. Yes? Once it hits 100%, or what? Yeah, I think once it hits 100%. Okay, so that's the way that this works. So it is sitting at 32 degrees Celsius right now. And once this hits 100%, that's its progress bar for the cooling that it's going to do. Bam. So it hit 100% and then it cooled down. Okay, so now I get how this works. So if we were to get a fluid encapsulator, we could automate this process. We would just have to give the fluid encapsulator buckets, but this works. Like we're getting plastic out of this, and that's exactly what we wanted. So that's actually pretty good progress, I would say, for this episode right now. Let's go ahead and see, what do we need? Okay, plastic. We need 4 plastic sheets. I have 4 plastic sheets. Why go? What's your dependency here? Air compressor, bucket of molten plastic, compressed iron ingots. Air compressor, bucket of molten plastic. I have to actually make 4 thermopneumatic processing plants. So I guess I'll go ahead and do this in between episodes because it's going to require more reinforced stone. Once I do that, it will then... What does a dispenser upgrade do? Anyway, it will allow me to get this bucket of molten plastic, which will allow me to get the plastic sheets done, which will allow me to start getting into Amadron tablets, which is where that's our next step. The Amadron is a fantastic item. Looks like we're going to need to charge it, though. It's basically Amadron. Do you get it? It allows you to order things. Amadron, Amazon. You order things with this, and then you can get stuff. Like that's going to give us a block of emeralds. It costs emeralds. It's like a portable vendor for pneumatic craft. And then that's going to allow us to start getting into PCBs and all of that good stuff, which is going to allow us to dive into a lot more things in pneumatic craft. So yeah, I'm excited. I am excited. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's grab our book and finish that off real quick before we end up. book. We're going to put these away. We'll put those away. Thermal lagging can stay out. Plastic sheets can go away. Bam. Bam. Let's see. The alloy kiln, can it use coal? I don't know. Or, I mean, can it use coal coke? That'd be nice. I have coal coke over there. Factory. And eventually we are going to have to get into immersive's, immersive's bigger structures here. So this is going to, we're going to cap out our spacing here, but that's okay. Yeah, it uses regular coal for this process, so that's good. You're still doing your thing. You've made 48. You guys are not even close to being full. Yeah, this is definitely takes forever. But we can buy the treated wood. I just need to get the vendors set up. So it's not like super duper critical, but it's kind of sort of critical for us to get all of that going, because buying 10,000 of these is not going to be a very feasible option. That's going to get us iron mechanical components. You're going to get us copper. Wow. 8 copper for that. Thank you so much. But then we can put these engineers blueprints in here and we can swap out. But now we can make modules, we can make steel components, we can make these circuit backplanes much easier, and we can make vacuum tubes. So let's go ahead. I'll take one of my barrels here. I'm going to set it up like say here, and we'll put our blueprints in there so we can swap out as needed. I'm going to grab another barrel. I'm going to swap out that smart chute. I'm going to go ahead and get the thermopneumatic processing plant set up so we can get the quests, and then we can continue on with more pneumatic craft. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it. It really does help out the channel. Also, if you're at this point and you're listening, let me know if you have audio issues in this episode. I'm trying a few things. I know the past couple episodes, for some reason, I have a slight desync, and I cannot figure out what is going on. I've switched over to recording to my SSD, my Samsung Evo 870 or whatever that I have. I'm thinking maybe it's an SSD problem. I'm trying to pre-record by like 4 minutes just to, because it seems to be at the beginning is where the issues are happening. So I'm trying to like do a pre-recording of nothing and then I don't know, kickstart the recording, I guess. Whatever. Let me know if this is working well for you guys. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.